In this video, you are going to see the hallmarks of something everybody who does not main a tank has probably seen at least once in their World of Warcraft life. A tank who is just totally new. Let's just say that. Somebody who is very, very, very inexperienced with the content they're in, maybe very inexperienced with the game. It's a difficult discussion to have nowadays because I don't want to discourage people from doing content, but, you know, it is also a Mythic Plus. Like, a lot of this stuff maybe could have been learned on lower difficulties, but I also put the blame on Blizzard there because their lower difficulties are just totally not rewarding and kind of not very difficult either. But the conversation in this video is actually going to be about how the group addresses this situation and hopefully can offer some inspiration for those moving forward, as well as some laughs along the way. Let's take a look at it. Well, you know what time it is whenever you see Spanish. We're going to take a look at the translation. There's not much said here, but this is the tank saying this, okay? So the first question asked from the tank is, no one speaks Spanish. I guess meaning like, does anyone speak Spanish? Not like super important, but always interesting. And then I think like coupled with the character, like, I mean, I just can't help but laugh whenever I see a Pandaren and like the transmog that the person has on. It's just always funny to me. The animations, I think, really are what make me laugh no matter what. Male Pandaren is just always humorous. But anyway, you might be able to tell that we're supposed to be in a Mythic Plus and we're not currently. So we're just fighting enemies. This is actually funny because I had this happen a long time ago on the streams. All right, so we have a full group in the dungeon. What should we do next? Oh, okay, he's gonna leave. Where will he go? I'll approach him. Vamos. What? What's he doing now? Oh no, he's gonna jump. He's gonna jump. He's admiring the dead dude. Oh, he's jumped. I fucking love this game, man. I'll tell you what. Oh god, dude. Oh, he's attacking a mob. I'll always have a bit of a chuckle whenever I see somebody do this. I don't necessarily know why people do this. You know, we're kind of just standing here. Then this comment gets made. This one's a little bit harder to translate. So I type it in, and I don't know if it's an actual typo, I guess. It says the same thing no matter what, pretty much. Says you don't have to start, which I guess, again, is a question. Perhaps confused. Like, I don't know where that's coming. Maybe confused about why there's enemies here. He doesn't know that the Mythic Plus keystone system works the way it does, but we are going to put the key in now. For some reason, I don't even know whose key it was, but we just let that happen and not say anything, and now it's time to do the dungeon. Here is the start of the dungeon. All right, so we're going to be walking ahead, kind of just Pandaring our way through it, throwing a keg, missing 3 of the mobs. They're just going to start running around. These are the hallmarks I'm talking about. And again, the goal of this is to see the reaction and how it actually goes about, and maybe give some inspiration for people, because I think there's a lot that could have gone differently here in this situation. Second pack, a lot of times people would combine both of these. I would definitely recommend combining these first 2 pulls no matter what, on no matter what difficulty. Usually we would then pull the gatekeeper to our right here, but we are not going to do that. What is that giant red ring around? That's pretty cool. It's like look like a blood thing around the character. So the guy's just going to kind of walk through the middle. We're going to accidentally aggro a gatekeeper as we do that, and just I think the tank doesn't know that actually happened. DPS monk is kind of a lot more aware of what's going on, so I guess they were kind of back there attacking, maybe trying to interrupt it, but failed to do that. Now we have pretty much, like, I mean, we have 2 patrols converging. We have the pulled gatekeeper, but again, it's a 2. There's no fortified, there's no affixes other than like the seasonal affix thing. Getting a little hairy. Yeah, taking a lot of damage here. Kind of just not really doing much about the gatekeeper, and just keep spawning more and more enemies. Tank damn near death. I don't know how they don't die there, but they are going to get away with that. And just because I think it's a 2, we actually have very good damage for a 2 as well, especially compared to what I've seen. And then kind of our first comment and maybe first registration of awareness of this. I love how the balls are all just kind of chasing people and they're just kind of walking away from them, but the hunter says that was fun. Now here's the patented there. I love when that happens. Did you see what just happened there? This is my favorite thing to see as a new tank. Watch this. The guy's going to open his map when he's standing right in front of the boss. Look at this. There's the map animation. I love that. That's my favorite thing in World of Warcraft, when the tank's just kind of sitting there staring at the map. And yeah, kind of just eyeing up his prize. I mean, we're going to go. We're going to go. So we're going to attack the boss here. We didn't pull either of the sides, right? So this is what I mean. Like, you know, just like a hallmark, right? Like you see a boss, you kind of just do a straight line to the boss. You don't expect there to be any issues. Also partially due to the way the fight works, I guess. These worms, like the little carrion worms, come out, and when they die, they drop a puddle. So we obviously need to make sure that that puddle is not interfering with our ability to stand. And I guess partially because of the way they're being kited, not necessarily by the tank either. The players aren't doing a very good job of keeping them together. So we got this giant swath of kind of poison on the ground, and then pretty much the whole group is just going to end up backpedaling into that mob. So that mob is now aggroed. You see it over there, necrotic bolt, and then 2 of these blight bags aggroed as well. But again, we got the hunter all the way in the back, the worms items just kind of all over the place, just total mess, and somebody's gonna die there, maybe to the mob, maybe to the boss. I can't really tell which. We continue to just kind of like wildly backpedal all around the room, and guess what's in range? Another gatekeeper. Second gatekeeper pulled. Boss is at 20%, by the way. We could have easily finished this, I think, but tank is gonna actually go down. Let's watch that again. It's just kind of overly, yeah, just moving so much, just so much. And I think that's a real hallmark of a tank who doesn't really know what they're doing or where they're going. Kind of just constantly kiting. And then, yeah, we have our first actual comment directly on the performance of the tank. This is the Windwalker that we were talking about. He says, awful tank. Okay, so again, like pay attention to the actual socialization that goes on here, because this is a 2, right? So, you know, one way or the other, whatever you want to say about this guy, yeah, he's very, very new, unaware of like the difficulty he put himself in there, and perhaps maybe unaware of the actual mechanics of everything. Like he doesn't know the fight, he doesn't know the trash, he doesn't know anything. He might be in here for the first time, but you see people are being very supportive of this player. You know, if this was a higher key, obviously people definitely would not be supportive of this behavior. So instead we see some very optimistic situations here where people are actually saying, hey, this is how you want to do this. You want to clear the sides. Hunters say, let's just clean it up. You know, we'll kill some of the trash. We actually have the Windwalker basically like stepping into a tank role here. He's kind of directing they're like pinging, and he's actually going from, you see, that's him over there. He goes in, just starts auto attacking the gatekeeper. He's just going to do the pulling. And, you know, this isn't a bad strategy. Like, you know, especially in a situation where the tank clearly doesn't know what he's doing. You know, this shows just how easy this key level is as well, where you can have a DPS just be the person engaging the trash, kind of being the leader. Yeah, you're kind of good, you know? So I love he pulls with the explosive brew. Is that a good strategy? You guys tell me, but he does that a lot. It's just kind of funny. Like you see the range pull from a tank. You don't really see that a lot anymore. And I feel like it's just kind of wholesome. Like I feel like good. I'm glad to see that there's new players. I'm glad to see that there are players who are just learning the game, just learning the kind of intricacies that their role might offer, and they're still stepping into content with a pug mindset. Like they're still out there trying. It's encouraging, and I'm really happy to see it go optimistically for this player, that they didn't just get like flamed out of existence. So first boss down, guys, again checking the map. We're going to continue up the stairs here, going to get on the mount, and so they're pinging. You see the pings. They're helping the person, directing the person a little bit here. This is what we might want to fight. Again, we're moving ahead. We got the blight bags. There's that patrol. Very, very unlikely that thing was going to get skipped. It is technically possible, but they accurately ping it, probably just because they want to make sure they get count from it. And the tank was not going to pull it. If you saw there, he was going to go ahead and just leave that thing there. That would have been a disaster, because very likely you wouldn't have enough space, especially on this level. People wouldn't be aware that they needed the space, and we would have aggroed that thing from behind, and it would have probably wiped us. Moving on to this pack. Where did we see this? Just recently, last weekend, we looked at this, where this pack just absolutely dominated this group. It's a heavy magic pack, and as you see, the tank is already in great danger, and they are ultimately going to get killed by another one of those swirls. Again, like we mentioned in the last video of Necrotic Wake, Season 2 swirls are going to be way more defined. I don't know that it helps this player. I don't know that that's exactly what caused the issue in the first place, but it's going to get a lot better, and on a mechanic like that, where there's tons of overlap with the ground, hopefully it's going to be a lot clearer. Patented low-key strategy here, where we just come back and keep fighting the trash, and no real problem. No real problem at this difficulty level. I mean, even when the tank had died before, you saw some of the DPS were actually able to like take a few hits. We do have one more death because of maybe the chaos, but we're gonna walk out of here with 9 deaths only, and now it seems like the hunter is stepping into a big leadership role for the group. He says all kick left, meaning these two mobs are gonna be here. We know we're gonna have a problem if the fear goes out. We saw that again in the last time we reviewed Necrotic Wake, but having a strategy like that in place is definitely very good. Tank clearly kind of not aware that, you know, maybe you want to face him away, so the Windwalker monk kind of goes behind him instead of having the tank face him away, and now we're in good shape. There's only the one melee. Next pack requires a lot of kicks. We're doing a decent job at it. Now this is the funniest part of the whole dungeon to me, and this just makes me chuckle. Okay, so the tank picks up the spear. He's kind of looking at it, maybe reading the description a little bit, kind of walking around. Watch what happens here. This is one of the best things I've ever seen in the game. He's gonna take the spear at full range and just launch it like Achilles in the beaches of Troy, man. That is just amazing. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this before. This is absolutely outstanding. Again, at 2, nobody cares. I'm sure the spear just doesn't matter. We're getting all these volleys going out. They're just not even dangerous. Like, this really shows you how easy this level actually can be. And everybody's cool about it, man. Like, tank, for the future, those are meant for bosses, which, yeah, I mean, you could use them on trash, but I definitely don't think you want to throw them at max range when nobody's attacking. You live and you learn, man. That's how it goes. On to the second boss now. Hunters, again, taking up this leadership role, saying, put the business end of this dragon here. Now, I like the leadership role, but the business end, I don't know that you maybe say that to somebody who's asking if people speak Spanish, but I guess he understands they ping, and I think the tank learns from that. You know what I mean? This is very, very good. Again, throwing that lob of that explosive keg right at him. We're actually going to fight him over here. It's really, really good. And it seems like he's receptive. You know, he's learning from the instruction that the players are giving. This is exactly what you would want to see at this level. And this is great leadership from this person. Again, look at this. Actually, you know, praising the tank for recognizing that that strategy was better than whatever they maybe have been planning to do, and it helped them kill the boss. Now he's explaining the next, I mean, they got a whole room of trash, but they're explaining the next boss. Once we kill ads in the next room, the boss fight begins. A red arrow will show up and you need to point it at the real boss located here. Now that one's obviously not going to ever be a tank mechanic, but you never know. Maybe the tank doesn't know about the arrow, might try to soak it. Like we could have seen something wacky here. Hunter now kind of instructing the tank, telling him to kind of keep it right here. This is definitely something that you can do that helps. I think the real reason you want to do that is to make it very, very easy to line the hook up. In fact, you see they actually pretty much don't even have to move there. Got a little bit unlucky because of that puddle spawning, but that sideways movement was still plenty lenient enough to get the Stitch Flesh down. And again, with no Tyrannical, you're going to see just how easy this is. Morbid Fixation goes out. Again, just like in the last one, we have the Hunter get it, the same guy who got the hook, so we kind of did a little misplay there. But at the end of the day, it's a Hunter. Marksmanship as well, so able to just kind of run around and not worry about that. And the boss is going to go back up, but with only 18% left. Round 2 this time on the Hunter, right? The guy who's leading the group. I mean, this is perfect. Best case scenario here. Everybody seems to know how to do the fight, and I think the optimism carries them through the whole thing, and nobody ever really gets frustrated because of that. We got a lot of time left, so we got to take some time to explain here. He says, tank, next boss, very important. If you're bound, wait till everyone gets out of your circle to unbind. I guess potentially knowing that monk has a freedom? If you see a circle, get away. White snow on the ground. As he's explaining it, the monk just says, go, question mark, which is kind of funny because to me, that makes me think he may not have understood a word that was said. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm just trying to live in this fantasy world where this is actually going to plan and the tank is learning from the Hunter. Anyway, kind of a mess. Yeah, just total mess here, kind of running around in circles again with that mechanic. Here comes Comet Storm number 1, and tank's just like literally just spinning around and just going to kind of run right over the healer there who's not ready for that. Healer is going to go down for our 10th death, but as we have not actually had any real boss deaths, we have all our battle reses up and we're not going to have any issues at all. Mechanics are done masterfully, and this boss is getting annihilated. I mean, 60% here already. Getting lucky too. Binds are always on the range, so we don't have that problem that the Hunter was describing to the tank. And we're talking about like a sub 2-minute fight, and everybody's optimistic about it. Hunter again says, great job, tank. Great heals. Thank you for group. One more comment in Spanish there, which I am unable to translate. It says CHUO, probably some slang or something like that. Unless it's Swahili. Maybe the guy's Swahili the whole time. He says, go to college, bro. It's so optimistic to see this. I feel really, really, really good to be able to review a key like this because I don't think I've ever really been submitted something like this where honestly, like, yeah, this guy not ready for this key and probably not ready for any key. Like, I don't know. It's hard to not pass judgment on somebody who's opening their map when they're standing in front of a boss, but I think in most situations in World of Warcraft, people probably aren't going to be too happy about this stuff happening. And if it wasn't for the Hunter stepping up and kind of being the leader and the vocal level head, it might not have gone that way because I do think that Windwalker Monk was already on edge. Yeah, we've certainly reviewed a lot of keys where we're talking about this from the complete opposite end of the conversation, and you guys have all seen how that goes. There is faith in the WoW Pug community. There is faith in the WoW humanity. That's probably the best way to put it, and it makes me really encouraged. So if you or anybody else you know are out there in the shoes of this tank, please feel free to record your runs and send them in, and hopefully me and the community here will be able to help you improve. I just want to help the community as much as possible with that sort of learning, and I know it can be difficult, especially if you're in a group that's not like this, where you are new to the game or new to Mythic Plus in general, and you're feeling like you're just being instantly pushed out, because we've heard many a story like that as well. So normally we would stream Tuesday through Friday. That schedule is going to be getting augmented. I want to try to get as many of these videos out as the season is ending, because there has been so many amazing submissions from you guys. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned for season 2, man. I cannot wait to get more and see some of the craziness that's going on in season 2. So stay tuned to the videos coming at you guys. There's going to be a lot of great Mythic Plus reviews still to come, and then stay tuned for the end of season disband review, which is definitely on the horizon. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next one.